ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So today we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, and verse number second. Hare Krishna. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutastva Kasmalamidam Visame Samupasthitam Anaryajushtam Asvargyam Akirti Karam Arjuna. The Supreme Personality of God had said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy. So yesterday we discussed this verse little bit, the significance of uh, addressing Krishna as Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Supreme Authority. Just to indicate it, emphasis on this, that whatever now Krishna is going to speak, that is absolute truth. No argument, no objection can be there. That's why Srila Vyasadeva, instead of writing Krishna Vacha, he is writing Sri Bhagavan Vacha. That means this is the final judgment, ultimatum, ultimatum. So, Kutastha. So Sri Bhagavan did not approve at all the reasons Arjuna gave for not fighting. Although materially, whatever reasons Arjuna gave for avoiding the fight, that was all that can be well appreciated on material platform. But on the spiritual platform, real platform, in reality, Krishna did not approve of it. So if Krishna did not approve, so that means this is all uh, unacceptable. Uh, Arjuna's reasons, lamentations are all dirt. Krishna is not just saying, I do not approve. Krishna is telling Kutastva Kasmalam Idam. How come these impurities enter your heart? Where from? Where from? Kutastva. Kutastva means where from. Where did you go and borrow this impurity? Where from this impurity has come within your heart? Similarly, Lord Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita not just to Arjuna. Actually, Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita to all, to us, to me. We should think like this. Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita to me. So he's asking us this question. He's asking to me this question. Kutastva kosmalamidam. Where from you have acquired this impurity? Which impurity? This dehatma buddhi, bodily consciousness. Where from you have acquired? Because we all are in bodily consciousness. We all identify with this body. We think that by making this body comfortable, by enjoying the sense gratification, by getting some cheap happiness, material sense gratification, enjoyment in this world, we can become happy. This is bodily consciousness. So Krishna is not approving this bodily consciousness. Rather, Krishna is saying this is all nonsense, bogus thing, dirt. ये सब मल है, मल, dirt, कुछ कश malam, Krishna is saying. So where from you have acquired this mal? So why this bodily consciousness is kasmalam, dirt, for the living entity, spirit soul? We are spirit soul, we are not this body. So thinking ourselves to be body, and on that bodily platform, if we do whatever activity, the so-called good activity of this material world is also actually a mal, dirt, impurity, according to the judgment or verdict of the Supreme Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of God. That's why Ved Vyas is writing very clearly, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. No ordinary person is speaking now. Who is speaking? God. The Supreme Personality of God is speaking. The creator, maintainer, destroyer, the supreme controller, he is speaking. He is giving his verdict. What is what is not, he is telling. So it is a real fact. So Krishna is not approving at all this bodily consciousness. Why? Why it is so? Because just like in the case of Arjuna, Krishna says, Anarejustam aswargyam akirtim karam Arjuna. Arjuna, you belong to a very royal dynasty. You are from very reputed Kshatriya family. So it does not befit that you lament like this in the hour of crisis where you are supposed to fight now. Just fighting is going to start, or at that particular moment you are lamenting, you are crying. What kind of Kshatriya you are? Even an ordinary Kshatriya will not act like this, and you are belonging to a royal dynasty. That's why this consciousness is impure consciousness. This consciousness of Arjuna's that he is lamenting, he wants to avoid the fight for the purpose of establishing dharma. This is impure consciousness. Similarly, the living entities, or especially human, among the living entities, especially human beings. Uh, animals, they are supposed to enjoy sense gratification because their intelligence is not so much developed. They are only meant for enjoying and suffering. That's all. But a human being is not expected to act like an animal because he has this human form of life and he has this great intelligence. God gifted intelligence has been given to human being, which can be used properly to cross over the material existence. This miserable material existence can be crossed by a human being alone only. And only a human being can control his mind and senses. And only a human being, Athatu Brahma Jigyasa, he can perfectly understand what is absolute truth. Who am I? What is my duty? What should I do to become free from the miserable situation of life? A human being can do like this. So if such a human being, after getting such a nice human birth in this world, if a human being he acts like an animal, then that is the impurity. That consciousness is impure conscious. Because animal thinks himself to be body and just acts for the satisfaction of the body. Similarly, if a human being also thinking himself to be body and is simply concerned with the attachments of the senses, attachments of the body, then he is no better than animal. And this kind of animalistic consciousness is impure consciousness. That's why Krishna is asking, Kutastva kasmalamidam, my dear human being, I have given you the body of a human being. So from where you have acquired this mentality to act like a cat or dog? Why are you becoming dog? It is the nature of a dog that whenever the dog finds a she dog, he runs behind her. A dog will not listen to the discourses of Bhagavad Gita. That nature of dog is wherever sense gratification, he will run. If you give him food, he will come to you. If you supply sense gratification, he will come. As soon as you open Bhagavad Gita, my dear dog, please stand here. I am reciting Bhagavad Gita. Listen. Dum धमाके भाग जाएगा. So Krishna is asking, Kutastva, where from? You are a human being. You are supposed to understand the purpose of life, truth about the life. So where from this mal impurity? What kind of impurity? Doggish mentality, we can say. Doggish, cattish mentality. Where from you have gotten this doggish mentality? This is not at all befitting a person like who has a living entity who has acquired this human birth. So this question is raised by Krishna, the Supreme Lord, to all of us who are interested only to maintain the bodily consciousness of life. So kutasva kasmalamidam vishme samupasitam. In this hour of crisis, this hour is a crisis critical hour because nobody's life is guaranteed. Anytime anything can happen. And so much chaos is there in the entire world. So much miserable situation. Everyone is disturbed. Alpayusha manda sumanda matayo. What is that verse? कलो अस्मिन् युगे जना प्रायेण अल्पायुषा सभ्या कलाव अस्मिन् युगे जना मंदा सुमंद मत्यो मंद भाग्या ही उपद्रिता. This is the condition of this age of Kali. So in this hour of crisis, uh, this is an emergency, urgent situation, emergency situation. So we are supposed to act in such a manner so that we can become free from this critical hour and make ourselves a perfect human being and a perfect devotee. So Krishna is asking Visame Samupasitam in this hour of crisis when all of us are entangled in the clutches of Kali. Kali has completely grabbed us, and we are suffering because of the influence of Kali. So in this hour of crisis, we should only be concerned about what is my duty, who am I, how I can become free. That's why Kutastva Kasmalamidam Visme Samupastitam Anarejustam Aswargam. This does not befit persons who do not know the value of life. They only practice such kind of thing. That means persons who are not human being, they only act like this. That means whoever is not interested in the discourses of Bhagavad Gita, whoever is not interested to understand the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, whoever is only concerned, only interested for the purpose of maintaining this body and enjoying the senses of this body, is no better than animal. He is an animal. Anarejustam. Aswargam. This will not lead to promotion to the higher planets. This will only degrade oneself. If a human being, if a living entity who has the body of a human being, if he acts like cats and dogs, then surely material nature, very mercifully, the material nature will give that living entity. You take the body of cat and dog and enjoy it. Why are you wasting human form of life? Huh. That's why Aswargam. Aswargam means which does not lead to higher planets. That means it will degrade us. Akirti Karam Arjuna. And this is Akirti, infamy for the living entity. This is disrespect. This is a disrespect. We are spirit soul, spiritual, qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord, and superior energy of the Lord, Chit Sakti, Chinmaya Sakti, Chit Sakti, spiritual energy, superior energy. So if the superior energy, the living entity, is concerned or attached to the inferior energy, material attachments, then it is a degradation. It is a defaming for the living entity. Just like if the son of a billionaire, son of Ambani, he goes and lives in Dharavi. Dharavi is the very congested, most congested slum in the world. Uh, and he goes there and lives there, and he becomes attached to in living there, and he makes friendship with all kinds of, in Mumbai language we say taporis, all kinds of taporis who have no other business than doing all kinds of nonsense activity, drinking, smoking, and all kinds of nonsense thing. So this is a great defaming for the son of Ambani. He is not supposed to do like this. Similarly, we being the spirit soul, the part and parcel of Supreme Lord Krishna, we are sons of Krishna, sons and daughters, son of Krishna, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So we are only meant to enjoy higher happiness, spiritual happiness. We are not meant to enjoy the third class, dirtiest kind of sense gratificatory activity. And that too, this sense gratificatory activity which are acquired by the sinful activity. The worst kind of sense gratification, which is not at all befitting for a living entity, is to enjoy sense gratification against the principles of religion. That means meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, gambling. These are the worst class sense gratification, enjoyment uh, done by the living entity spirits. But the spirit soul's qualification is to enjoy the real higher spiritual bliss in the association of the Supreme Lord, the greatest spiritual being. Krishna is the greatest spiritual being, and we are part and parcel of Krishna, the same part and parcel, same quality we also have got. A spiritual being. Krishna is Sachidananda Vigraha, we are also Sachidananda. So being Sachidananda and spiritual in quality, our qualification is, or our duty is, we deserve to enjoy happiness of that category, not the third class happiness. Just like the son of Ambani deserves the happiness, he deserves to live in big palace. He deserves to ride, to travel in very nice uh, car, and have a good, nice friend circle. Huh? But if he goes in Dharavi and lives like in the slum, and he lives like ordinary tapori there, so that is a great defaming, great disrespect for the son of Ambani as well as the Ambani himself. That's why if the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Krishna, if instead of taking devotional service and enjoying the spiritual bliss in the association of uh, Krishna consciousness, association of the Supreme Lord Krishna, then it is a defaming for us and it is defaming for Krishna also. That's why Krishna is surprised. Kutastva kasmalamidam vismaya samupasthitam anarejishtamaswargam makirtikaram arjuna. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are identical. Krishna and Shri Bhagavan are identical. Krishna means Sri Bhagavan and Shri Bhagavan means Krishna. Therefore, Lord Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan throughout the Gita. Throughout the Gita, Krishna has been referred to as Bhagavan, but there are foolish Mayavadis, even after reading Bhagavad Gita, commenting upon the Bhagavad Gita, they are unable to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Krishna is Supreme Bhagavan. They say Krishna is some ordinary personality, human being. We have not we are not meant to surrender to Krishna, but surrender to the impersonal present within Krishna. These all nonsense, bogus things are propagated by Mayavadi. But throughout Bhagavad Gita, Ved Vyasji has clearly mentioned everywhere Krishna, Shri Bhagavan Vacha. And Krishna himself, when he speaks, he clearly explains Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, Matta Sarvam. He everything is clear cut, but still, because of influence of Maya, those who are fully under the clutches of Maya, they cannot understand this, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. So Bhagavan is the ultimate in the absolute truth. Param Satya, absolute truth means Param Satya, Param Brahma, Paratattva. So the ultimate thing in this regard is Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate absolute truth. Krishna is the ultimate Param Satya, Param Brahma, Param Tattva. So the absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding, namely Brahman, or the impersonal all-pervasive spirit. Second, Paramatma, or the localized aspect of the Supreme within the heart of all living entities. And third, Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of God and Lord Krishna. So this absolute truth, the spiritual substance, Brahma Vastu, this is realized in three stages. The first, beginner stage is to understand the absolute truth as impersonal Brahman, Brahma Jyoti, Nirakara Brahma Jyoti. That is the first, very vague understanding of absolute truth, Param Satya. When one advances further, he goes to the second stage, second level of understanding, and he realizes that the Paramatma is the absolute. Absolute truth is Paramatma realization. And then finally, when one advances completely, perfectly, reaches to the highest limit of realization of absolute truth, then he comes to the understanding that supreme absolute truth is Supreme Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. And this is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. First canto, second chapter, verse number 11. This conception of the absolute truth is explained thus. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnanavadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan iti shabdate. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding by the knower of the absolute truth, and all of them are identical. Such phases of the absolute truth are expressed as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. So absolute truth is realized in three phases: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. And Bhagwan, Krishna is that Bhagwan, the ultimate absolute. So, so these three divine aspects can be explained by the example of the sun, which also has three different aspects, namely the sunshine, sun surface, and sun planet itself. One who studies the sunshine only is a preliminary student. One who understands the sun's surface is further advanced. And one who can enter into the sun planet is the highest. Ordinary students were satisfied by simply understanding the sunshine, its universal pervasiveness, and the glaring effulgence of its impersonal nature, may be compared to those who can realize only the Brahman feature of the absolute. The student who has advanced still further can know the sun disk, which is compared to knowledge of the Paramatma feature of the absolute. And the student who can enter into the heart of the sun planet is compared to those who realize the personal features of the supreme absolute truth. Therefore, the bhaktas or the transcendentalists who have realized the Bhagwan feature of the absolute truth are the topmost transcendentalists. Although all students are engaged in the study of the absolute truth, are engaged in the same subject matter. Although all students who are engaged in the study of the absolute truth are engaged in the same subject matter. The sunshine, the sun disk, and the inner affairs of the sun planet cannot be separated from one another, and yet the students of the three different phases are not in the same category. So this is the explanation of Bhagavan, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Just like sunshine is there, sun planet is there, and within the sun planet there are sun god and his associates, and there are many living creatures live there. So in this way, so when one sees the sun from behind, far distant, then he can only realize sunshine, experience of sunshine. When he comes out of the house room, then he can see the sun globe. Sun globe is there. But when he actually goes into the sun planet, then he can realize that there is personality within sun planet. That personality is sun god, Vivaswan. Similarly, when one is the beginner in the realization of absolute truth, he only sees the impersonal sunshine, shining rays of the effulgence of the Supreme Lord Krishna, which comes out of his body. That is Brahman realization. And when one further understands in deepness this knowledge, he comes to the understanding the Paramatma aspect. And finally, when one becomes the topmost transcendentalist, then he realizes Krishna to be the supreme aspect. So this has been uh, explained in all the scriptures, many scriptures, Brahma Samhita, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, many Puranas. So that Brahma Samhita has been quoted further. We'll discuss about this tomorrow. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare. If there are any question, please ask. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes, any question?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी,
Hare
दंडवत
Krishna.
प्रणाम। प्रभु, जैसे अभी हम आज जो श्लोक समझ रहे थे उसमें कृष्ण भगवान जो अर्जुन से कह रहे हैं, मतलब कि तुम जो ये सब पेन हो रहा है तुम्हें क्यों हो रहा है, मतलब इस डिल्यूजन में क्यों जा रहे हो, वो चीजें डिस्कस होती हैं। जैसे तो हम रियल लाइफ में कई बार कंडीशनली हमें पता ही नहीं चलता है कि हम इल्यूजन में जी रहे हैं। जैसे प्रेजेंटली भी जो भी चीजें हो रही हैं, लाइक बॉर्न एंड डेथ होती रहती है और हमें एक तरह से माया में ही जी रहे हैं। तो ये चीज रियलाइज कराने के लिए क्या ही मतलब इस्कॉन जैसी संस्था
Knowledge
और
is
जो
important.
भी।
Knowledge is important. That's why Bhagavad Gita knowledge is very important. If one gets the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then he will not become illusioned. He will understand what is real philosophy, what is reality of life. And then even while being engaged in so many household affairs, so many material activities, one need not to give up material activities. But if somebody has proper knowledge, so even while performing material activities, he can change the quality, he can change the result, he can be well situated in pure consciousness. Okay. Is any other
प्रभु, तो
question?
कमल की तरह कैसे मतलब वो डिटैच हो सकता है? मतलब है तो वो वहीं
It
कीचड़ में
begins
ही
with
हम लोग।
knowledge,
तो
acquiring
मतलब
knowledge. First of all, one has to acquire complete knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. For that, he should read Bhagavad Gita and attend discourses on Bhagavad Gita, because only simply by reading Bhagavad Gita it's very difficult to understand. So we require somebody who can instruct us on the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. So when one does this regularly, then he acquires real knowledge, and then when he gets inspired by the knowledge, he practices the knowledge given thereupon, and then finally he can come out of, he can be like a lotus while living in the mud, and the lotus is completely aloof from the mud. Similarly, while living in this material world, while for performing all kinds of activities, still one will be untouched by the reactions of those activities. This is possible with the help of this supreme spiritual knowledge. Okay.
Then
Yeah, it's not tough. Um, in the beginning, it may be difficult, but as one, if somebody is determined, if he practices it, gradually it becomes very easy. One will get habituated. Abhyast, one will be practiced with this knowledge, and he will remain fully Krishna conscious throughout his life. Okay. Yes, Shama Matani.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। टाइमिंग का अनाउंसमेंट कर दीजिएगा प्लीज आप, क्योंकि लेट आते हैं काफी सारे लोग।
Okay, yes, yes. So we start these BGML classes sharp as 7:25. 7:20, 1 or 22 link is started. So you can start joining from 7:22 onwards. And sharp, we start by 7:25 to 8 o'clock.
अपने फ्रेंड्स को कनेक्ट करने के लिए बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि प्रियंका
Yes.
माता जी और नंदिनी माता जी ने अभी काफी सारे कॉन्टेक्ट्स दिए हैं मुझे अपने कॉलेज से, तो
Good, very nice. So all of you can connect your friends from your colleges so that they can also get benefited. So do this favor to them also. Help help us to spread knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to all the youths. Especially Gita Jayanti is coming. 11th December is Gita Jayanti. So taking advantage of this special occasion, Gita Jayanti, we should be inspired to connect as many people as we can so that they can also get the help.